Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Galletto Rossonero here with you. Today a special kind of video. The Mercato so far, what's happening, who's in, who's out. We'll be looking at the teams, what they need, what are they trying to do. Obviously, it's not really a rebuilding because we're not going to give our opinions on who they would need to get or who we want them to get. It's just a update on what they've done so far. So the first team we're going to do is AC Milan because I'm a Milan fan. But before we do, like and subscribe. We want and need your support. So guys, who's in, who's out, the maybes, the maybe going out, who are they looking at, what do we need to complete this team? So the outs. So Laxat came back from his loan from Celtic. He's already on his way out, went to Moscow, 3.5 million euros on a permanent deal. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Ulzer is part of the Tonali deal. Good young talent. They sold him on a permanent deal, but they have an option to buy him back if he explodes and becomes a great player. Bresciani was loaned out to a Serie B team. Dalot's loan expired, so he went back to Manchester United. Mandzukic had a 6-month contract. They did not renew it. Unfortunately, he did not have enough of a chance to prove himself, and so he is out. Brahim Diaz, he's on the maybe list because his loan finished, went back to Real, but apparently they already have a deal to bring him back. So he would be on his way in. It's not official yet, so we'll leave it at that. Obviously, the two big outs are Çalhanoğlu, who decided to go at Inter for like €1 million. A bit of a trader move, but it made absolute sense for Inter. Great signing for them. They needed to replace Eriksen because of his health issues. They got a they got a good player who played very well for Milan the last season. The first two were so we'll see where that goes. And obviously the biggest loss, Gigio Donnarumma, starting goalkeeper for the Italian national team, 21 years old, 250 games with Milan. He's a superstar. He will be missed. Decided not to renew his contract for €8 million a year. Will be going to PSG for 10 plus 2 of bonus. Oh, money talks. He's 21 years old. Decided to go to a superstar team next year with all the signings they've done. That doesn't mean he's going to win anything, but it's still a superstar team. So what have they done so far in the end category? So obviously, Magnan came in to replace Donnarumma. Good young keeper, French international, won the French league with Lille last year. 23 clean sheets. He's very good. He's very good. Obviously, he's no Donnarumma. Let's not compare him to Donnarumma. Let's give him a chance. But I think it's a good signing. Tomori, Milan exercised their buying options from Chelsea, 20 million euros, 28, sorry, not 20. Stole Romagnoli's spot last year, never gave it back to him. Great athletic abilities, good defender. He played very well with Kier, was so important in the last stretch of the season. Big goal against Juve. Great signing. I think he will do very well. Tonali is officially done till 2026. They paid 10 million euros for the loan last year. They finalized the deal at 10 million plus Ulzer this year. So, like we mentioned before, Ulzer, there's a buyback option in case he grows up to be a very good player. He's a good talent. Tonali had ups and downs last year. He's a good player, played very well at Brescia. Obviously, you can't compare Brescia to Milan, so please, let's not repeat Locatelli and Pessina again. Let's give him a chance, guys. He's a good midfielder. Pobega is back from his loan from Spezia. Had a very good season. I don't think he will be staying. We'll talk about it a bit later. Caldara and Conti came back from their respective loans at Atalanta and Parma. And finally, Giroud apparently on Monday will do his physical. We needed another striker. They wanted Olivier Giroud. They got Olivier Giroud. 6 goals in 8 games with Chelsea in the Champions League last year. Was the starter for the French national team. Then there was a whole debacle with Benzema. Some players wanted it, some players didn't want him. Anyways, Very good player. Still in the national team. So very, very good. He will play a lot. Ibra cannot play all the games. He missed half the season last year. Good signing. The maybes, we talked about it. Brian Diaz probably will be back. He'll be announced next week. Who's on their way out? So, Leao, I think, is a name that if they got a good offer, they're saying about 25, 30 million euros. He is gone. Hauge, apparently there's already negotiations with some Bundesliga team. They're looking at about 15 million euros. Pobega also negotiations with Atalanta between 12 and 15 million euros. So that could be possibly 30 million euros to reinvest on the market. We're sacrificing a bit of youth, but if they buy the right players, it's all worth it. Also, Caldara, Castillejo, Conti, and Krunic are probably all on their way out. And one more name, but we'll talk about it soon. Contracts. Who was up for renewal for 2022? So, Calabria is due for 2022. He's officially re-signed till 2025. I think after the great season he had, it was a no-brainer. Good for them. Came out through the Vivaio from La Primavera, so it makes absolute sense. Kessi, El Presidente, he wants 6 million euros. His contract ends in 2022. Give him 7. You cannot afford to lose Franck Kessi. He's a tank. He was best player last year. You cannot afford to lose him. Give him what he wants. The next one, and he's the one that may be on his way out, is Romagnoli. So Romagnoli, his contract ends in 2022. Listen, he didn't do bad at Milan, but he stopped developing. Tomori stole his spot last year. The problem is he wants also a big salary. His agent is Mimo Raiola. Doesn't work well with Milan. We saw it with the Donnarumma negotiations 2 years ago. We saw it this year. I think he's out. If they can insert him in a deal, he's gone. Who are they looking at? So what is Milan missing to complete their team? So obviously they need another striker. They probably need a winger. They need a left back more than a right back. Then we'll discuss why. And of course a midfielder. They only have 3. Kessi and Benassa will be doing the African Cup in January. So they will be leaving. So the strikers. So before getting Giroud, they were saying if they don't get Giroud, Jovic, Belotti, Schick, all names that we're looking at. But I think the most interesting one is Caio Jorge, very young talent from Santos. His contract expires in December. I think he's the player that Milan want. Young talent that could develop. It falls in line into the Elliott brand and situations. That's what they like to have. They like to have young talent that can develop and maybe get sold for a lot of money. They've already taken Giroud, who's like the older, experienced guy. So, Caio Jorge, the big name on the list. In midfield, so a couple of names. Bakayoko could be returning, but the latest news is that Napoli is pushing hard. Spalletti wants him back at Napoli. Lokonga from Anderlecht, young talent. Damsgaard from Sampdoria. Damsgaard, guys, I don't know. He had a very good Euro. He's a good young talent. But Ferrero, Sampdoria president, will ask for like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 million euros. I don't think he's worth that much. So for me, is a no-no. I think for me, the name that's on the list that they're really looking at is Camara, 21-year-old from Marseille. Everybody says some very good stuff about him. Could play a lot of roles in the midfield. I think he's the key player they want. Tonali, Camara, Kessi, and Benacer, I think would be more than just fine. We were talking about left backs, right backs. So on the right back right now, they have Calabria and Kalulu. So Kalulu could also be played in the center. So depending where they want to play him, they were talking about maybe getting Ordiozola from Real to replace Dalot. Manchester United is not open to another loan for Dalot, so it's going to be very hard. On the left-hand side, the new name to be the Vice Tuteo, so the second Tuteo Hernandez, is Pezzella from Parma. Good kid, a good reserve, I think, for the bench. Wouldn't hurt. So could be very, very interesting. Obviously, the biggest piece of the puzzle is the trequartista or winger. There's a lot of names out there, so take it with a grain of salt. The names are Isco. Apparently, they've already made an offer for him. 15 million euros to Real Madrid, but apparently the player wants 9 million euros to leave Spain. At that price, guys, he's not coming. They're not going to give him 9 million euros. Ziyech, Chelsea want 40 million. They might be able to do a transaction a la Tomori. We'll see. Sabitzer is the name that's the most affordable on the list. 20 million euros. Leipzig willing to let him go. He can play any role in the midfielder, trequartista midfielder. He's good. He had a great Euro as well. James Rodriguez, Everton, affordable, but his salary is way out there, and I don't think Milan will go for him. I don't think it falls in the Milan policy. Luis Alberto is the big name. So he did not present himself at the Lazio Radunio. 2 days, no show. There's rumors that Juve, Milan, Inter are all trying to get him. There's a rumor that Milan would offer Romagnoli plus money for Luis Alberto. If that is the case, and Lotito says yes, then do it right away. Luis Alberto, great, great player. For the wing, the big name is Berardi. Sassuolo, less than 40 million euros, will not let him go. So, we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, nobody would say no to Berardi, but at that price, it's a big thinker. You need to think about it. Obviously, if Romagnoli goes, they'll need another center back. They already have Gabbia, they have Kier, they have Tomori, and Kalulu that played very well last year when he was called upon. So, do they keep him as a right back or they put him as a center? We'll see. Guys, let me know what you think about these videos. If you like these kind of videos, we'll do the rest of the teams. We can do Juve, Inter, Fiorentina, all the big teams from Serie A. And then we'll do the rebuilding videos as the market goes further along. We'll do them with Aldo. So let me know. Enjoy your soccer day. Big game tomorrow. Italy versus England. Forza Azzurri. And I would like to finish by saying congratulations to our friends from Argentina. Argentina won the Copa America, beat Brazil 1-0. Di Maria goal. Angel. Good for you. Have a great, great night.